Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So, my last video, I spoke more about Jesus and the crucifixion and what he did after the crucifixion. And I did mention that he went to check on, seeds he had planted before or in other lifetimes when he was other avatars. So, basically, today what I want to do is cover a lot of things. So, I I watched a video by one of the XJWs that I love and follow, and I will talk about that at the end. But it's like at this point, I'm stepping more into my masculine energy, which it's okay, it's not a bad thing, but it's a get things done, get busy, protect, that type of mode. So, yeah, when I see one's outwardly, and I mean outwardly projecting hate, like Watchtower is backing at this point, it's enough. It's like you've had enough time. You've been warned. I offered you peace. You've had, every opportunity to do the right thing, and you just chose not to. So at this point, I have nothing else to say. Okay, let me start. So basically, all of these religions that were basically formed on truth because they were done by Jesus or Yeshua or, you know, the true sources information. And what happens is as soon as the truth gets out, it gets corrupted and exploited and it turns into something else. Now, this is what Jesus or Yeshua or whatever you want to refer to sources representative of itself as was referring to in Revelation when he was speaking about these seven churches in Asia. Okay, now you can read about that, and you can pretty much, if you read through those churches, you can identify, which religion they are, because basically they all started from truth because he was the one at the very root who gave that information out, but it always turned into something corrupt that could make money because of the influence of who was trying to control things on this earth. Okay? So, even me, 2 videos ago, I believe, I relayed the message that Source wants to stop with the gender titles because throughout time there has been this battle between man and woman, masculine and feminine. So, in order to try to alleviate that, so now the feminine energy isn't put on this pedestal, and what has been happening to the feminine energy happens to the masculine energy. We don't want that to happen. So, therefore, it's easier for Source, even though we know what it is to be identified as an it. Now, some may say, oh, well, that is, gender neutrality, it's gender fluidness. And that's why I found the video that Wally, he is the JW Thoughts YouTuber, what he did. Because it's like I said that about Source, and then here comes this information that Watchtower puts out on jw.org. But I'll get to that later. Let me finish my thought. Sorry. There's so much going on. It's hard for me to just, stay on one thought process here. So, yes, those congregations, the 7 congregations spoken about in Revelation, is what Jesus was referring to when he comes back and basically assesses the congregations that he's left before. Okay, so that's what that's talking about. Another thing I wanted to mention is that in Revelation chapter 1, verses 8, 11, and 17. Yes, let me read that. All right. Okay. So Revelation chapter 1. Okay. Now I'm going to start with 8, where it says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, says the Lord, who is and who was and who is to come, the Almighty. Now, in verse 11, saying, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. And what you see, write in a book and send it to the 7 churches which are in Asia, to Ephesus, to Smyrna, to Pergamos, to Thyatira, to Sardis, to Philadelphia, and to Laodicea. Okay. Again, in 1 and verse 17, it says, and when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. But he laid his right hand on me, saying to me, do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. And then 18 it says, I am he who lives and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And I have the keys of Hades and of death. Okay. So you notice in all 3 of these verses, Jesus, Yeshua, refers to himself. Now remember, I already just said that there are many avatars that Source has used throughout time in order to keep truth functioning, but it has been corrupted consistently. All of these refers to the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, the first and the last in these scriptures, okay? So what I'm going to do today, and I haven't done it for quite a while, I used to use it in some of my earlier videos, is the Gnostic Gospels. So these were also referred to as the Nag Hammadi texts that were found. Basically, for those who don't know, these were actually found and then translated, and this is what we have of them, okay? And I am going to read this, which is called Thunder. Okay? And I will try and find a link so that you can read this yourself if I can, okay? But I'm going to read Thunder, and it says, it's a unique Gnostic revelation by a mysterious female deity, stressing the importance of the essential I amness. Remember, in Revelation, I just read the I am as well in verse 17 of chapter 1. Okay, stressing the importance of the essential I amness, also known as the perfect mind. It contains parallels with ancient Indian literature, which refers to the I am form. Okay. And it says, I have issued from a great power and visit all who contemplate me. I have been discovered by those who search diligently. Pay attention, those that meditate upon me, and listen well. All of you who are patiently waiting, take me to yourself. Don't dismiss me from your mind, and don't let your inner voices despise me. Don't forget me at any time or place. Be watchful. I am the first and the last. I am both respected and ignored. I am both harlot and holy. I am wife and virgin, mother and daughter. Organs of my mother barren, yet many are my sons. I am she whose marriage is auspicious, but I am husbandless. I am the midwife who doesn't carry the balm of birth pains. I am bride and groom, sired by my spouse. I am mother of my father, sister of my husband, and he's my son. I am slave of he who anointed me. I am ruler of my children, but he is the one from whom I was born. He shall be my son in time. My strength is from him. I am the rod of his potency, in his youthful virility, and he is the staff of my old age. Whatever he wills happens. I am the unfathomable silence, and the thought that comes often, the voice of many sounds, and the word that appears frequently. I am the meaning of my name. Why am I despised? Do you love me and hate those who love me too? If you deny me, then admit me. You who pretend to tell the truth about me really lie. Yet you who've lied about me also tell the truth. If you know me, forget me, and those who don't know me, let them know. I am knowledge and ignorance. I am embarrassment and effrontery. Shameless and ashamed. I am courage and fright. I am war and peace. Listen, I am disgraced, yet almighty. Notice my poverty and richness. Don't be unkind to me when I'm thrown out upon the ground. You'll find me hidden in those yet to come. Don't peer at me when I'm on the dung heap. Don't desert me or cast me out. You'll find me in the kingdom. Don't gaze at me when I'm ejected in disgrace, nor mock me. Don't hurl me amongst those who are slain violently. I am merciful and cruel. Be vigilant. Don't despise my servitude. Don't admire my self-control. Don't forsake me in my ineptitude. Never fear my power. Don't hate my timidity or pour scorn on my arrogance. I am she who dwells in all terror, the strength and the trembling. I am she who is pathetic and pleased in a pleasant place. I am stupid and I am wise. Why do you despise me in your counsels? I'll be quiet among the quiet. I shall manifest and speak. Yet why do Greeks hate me? I am a Philistine among Philistines, yet have the wisdom of Athens and craftiness of the barbarians. My image is great in ancient Egypt, but is nothing amongst Philistines. I have been hated everywhere, but also adored. I am that which people call life, and you call death. I am called the law and lawlessness. I am the hunted and the captured. I am the dispersed and the collected. I don't keep festivals, but have many feasts. I am both godless and she who knows God is great. I am the one you've contemplated and mocked. I am ignorant, yet I teach. I am despised, yet admired. I am the one who conceals and then reveals herself. But when you conceal yourself, I shall appear. When you appear, I'll hide. Hold me to yourself from comprehension and regret. Take me to yourself in ugly and ruined places. Rob those who are good, even in their ugliness. Ashamed, take me to yourself shamelessly. Scold my organs in yourself. Advance all that know me and my organs. Establish high creatures amongst the lowly. March on to childhood. Don't hate that state. because it appears tiny. Don't reject greatness in smallness. My nature is peace, but war comes from me. I am an exile and a subject. I am substance and unsubstantial. Those who do not cling to me are ignoramuses, but those who dwell in my substance know me. Those who are close don't know me. When you are near, I'm distant. On the day you're distant, I am close. I am within, in your heart. I am your true nature, the creativity of yourself. Now, I know that was a lot to understand, but in time, or those of you where your third eye is open, you will understand what I just read. But it all correlates to things that I have told you in many of my videos. And many of these things you don't take literal, like when she's talking about I am a harlot and these things, because it's symbolic. And now you know why Jesus or Yeshua or whatever you want to say spoke in parables and things that many people would not understand, but those who had the right heart and mind would. Even as I was speaking in other videos about this relationship that Source has with her companion, who could be considered her spouse, when she is at the non-material level. That's the best way I can describe it. Because Source has to become physical in order to create in the material realms, like the 3D realm. Okay. So that is why in part of this, it talks about I am the bride and the groom, sired by my spouse. I am the mother of my father, sister of my husband, and he's my son. That is confusing, but yet, if you know, you will understand. That's why Jesus also would always say, those who have ears, listen. So those who have the understanding will know. Now, why did I bring all of this up now? Because number one, it correlates with my last video. And also, it is to make you start to open up your mind and your heart to things that have been closed off to you. Also, this concept of gender, it has to be purely masculine or purely feminine. It's black or it's white, there's no gray. It's something that was put into this world by the rebellious one. Jehovah, Satan, Marduk, he has also taken on many avatars and many names. So, this is what he puts out. This is why I said the video that was put out by Wally, very timely, because they are desperate. These demonic entities, and now if you watch what is put out, you cannot shut your eyes to what energy is behind these men who are speaking and leading these poor sheep. But there's a certain point now where I can't even call them poor sheep, because there's so much information available that it is a choice for those sheep to remain blind at this point. So yeah, I'm going to put a link to Wally's video, and I'm also going to put time stamps to certain aspects of what this member is saying in his talk, because you will even see the hatred toward these lords and other gods, and they're real because they're avatars of Source that work on Source's behalf. And the planets are named after them. They even have a hatred toward the names that the planets have now. And they are exposing themselves as to who and what they truly are. So I am urging you, please watch Wally's video, which is JW Thoughts, like I said before. Okay, this is longer than my usual videos, but I needed to get some of this information out. I love you all. And as always, I want you to have peace, unconditional love, the true unconditional love that can only come from Source. Okay? Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.